Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Here I am again. I'm answering questions and I'm sharing my experience with JanPro. And that's really amazing because I've only been with JanPro. I've been with JanPro for about 6 months, but I'm no longer with JanPro. I am back into real estate, which is my passion, my love, and I'm going to start sharing videos talking about real estate, but I have people still inquiring about JanPro. So let me give you my experience with JanPro. So I'm going to title this one The Fantasy versus the Reality of Working with JanPro or any cleaning service that you're partnering yourself with. Some people are independent, some people buy into the franchise. And what led me to do this video, this title, is because I'm mentoring a young man that is in the janitorial sector and also the real estate sector. In just a moment, my daughter's about to get in, so just give me a moment for that. But mentorship is mentorship, no matter if it's real estate or because the mindset is interchangeable. Is that a word, Tab? Is that a word, interchangeable?
No, that's not a word.
Okay, well, you can relate them to either field. So let me share this with you. So the fantasy versus...
Can I share too?
No. Let me do this video real quick. The reality versus the fantasy of being in a franchise. So I know that some people say, I'm gonna get into the I'm gonna get into franchising and I'm gonna make all of this money off the top. And that's not always the reality of it. Okay. So I want to share that, and then I'm going to do like a 2-for-1, maybe a 3-for-1. Another question was asked, how many offices does it take for you to get $3,000 in contract versus $5,000 in contracts? And someone else asked, they're looking to put $5,000 into JanPro franchise or a franchise, and how much work can they expect? So let me start off with the reality versus fantasy. I got into JanPro and I got in with a certain mission. That may be on another video. With a certain mission to really scale really fast. And because I proved myself on the smaller jobs, they were giving me more jobs. Some people thinking that when they come through the door, they're just gonna throw you these $3,000, $5,000, $2,000, $10,000 contracts. What you have to understand is that takes a lot of commitment out of the gate. So when I came into JanPro, that was my 9 to 5 or my 5 to 9. Sometimes it was both. That was my 9 to 5, 5 to 9. I didn't have another job. Like some people try to leverage their time. They may be working on another job and kind of slowly trying to come into the janitorial business, or they want to make some money on the side. Well, with that, you're going to be able to do it, but it's going to be very, very challenging because what you have to be able to show the franchise is that you're able to take on these contracts. That was one thing that my mentee wasn't really grasping. He came in, he paid his money, and he wanted to have these large contracts right off the beginning. Well, there's going to be a time they're going to give you small contracts just for you to prove yourself. And when I say small contracts, maybe a contract that's worth $99, that's worth $199, and so they want you to prove yourself. What can you do to lower that risk and get higher contracts from day one? Really sell yourself. Take everything as an opportunity. From the time that you first meet them, in my first interview with them, when I called them on the phone, I spoke with them, I was very confident and assured in myself, and I didn't use just a secret. I didn't use a lot of slang term. I put on my professional voice, and that made them want to meet me. And even though real estate really didn't transfer over into franchising, I told them that yes, I do have a successful real estate business. So those were like little indicators that I know how to run a business. When I went there as a janitorial person, I put on a suit and tie, because they're looking at your appearance, the way you're groomed, the way you smell. So put your best foot forward. And when I came through the door, I already had about 3 employees. So my first contract was about $800 out the gate. My second contract was about $700. My third contract was about $500. I had probably about 8 contracts, and it was about $3,000. But they were over the time. And let me put a little bonus in the beginning of the video. You want to have this is my real estate voice, right? You want to have my real estate term, a diverse portfolio. You don't want to have a lot of big contracts. Now you're like, wait, what are you saying? Yes, I want a lot of big contracts. This is the thing with big contracts. If you get a huge contract, say $5,000, $6,000, and you leave your job and you only have that one huge contract, which is that's a huge contract, and then the client, the customer, decides that they don't want the cleaning service anymore. It had anything to do with you. Maybe they're downsizing, or maybe they have their cleaning in-house now. Now you've left your job, or you put all your money in this one contract, put all your hopes, and then the huge contract left. Now what do you have? So you want to have the huge contracts, but you also want to have the small contracts, because it's a lot easier for you to have $3,000 or $4,000 in small contracts, and when the huge contract leave, is not so much of a punch in the stomach, a punch in the gut. So you want to have a diverse business of small contracts, a good amount of small contracts, and some big contracts. When those contracts leave, you want to have something that you can survive off of. So I might have to make part 2, because at 10 minutes I'm going to stop this. So that was a bonus. But you have to sell yourself from day one. When you first walk through the door and you're meeting them, you want to make sure that you're really well groomed, that you talk with confidence, that you assure Jam Pro and the salesman, everybody, even if the person who's the receptionist, you want to be very pleasant, upbeat, because the receptionist can tell somebody else, like, oh, they was in the lobby and they was doing this. So you want to treat everybody as though they're an owner. So you want your name to be synonymous in the office, and all of them are singing your name in the office, from the time that you meet the receptionist to the time that you meet the interviewer, from the time that you meet the owner of the business. So that's one way to ensure that you can get higher contract. Let them know that they can rest assured that you're going to dedicate your time to making sure there's going to be you're going to do your best job, making sure that you have enough people, because they don't want to call you and you got to scramble and hire people. You want to already have your people. So when I met them, I did this. I politicked with them. When I was done with my building, sometimes I go into the office, have coffee, shake hands, kiss babies, because you want everybody to know your name. And I did such a good job that when I left, they was like, oh, why are you leaving? I explained to them what was going on, and I got a good recommendation if I wanted to come back or start it again. So that's one thing. So the expectations, the fantasy and the expectations should be set that when you come through the door, there is going to be a proven season. You may have to say, okay, for 3 or 4 months, I'm going to handle these small contracts, and don't get discouraged. And as you handle those contracts, you can continue to move forward. I got a phone call coming in. You can continue to move forward and get bigger contracts. But if you had a company and you built up a good brand like Jam Pro or ABC LLC, and now you have someone off the street that paid $2,000 to $5,000 to be a part of this multi-billion industry, would you give them your highest contracts? You're going to give them your smaller contract to see how they prove themselves. And then you want to be a solution. So if they have smaller contracts way out in Timbuktu, you want to be able to say, hey, I'll take that. What do you have that nobody else wants? And I've heard somebody else say that, and that was my approach. So I'm sharing somebody else's idea, that you want to say, okay, then what do you have that's hard for you to fill? Let me take those. So if you scratch their back, they're going to scratch your back. But don't get discouraged. Again, there has to be a proven season. Maybe it's 3 to 6 months. And also how you approach. When you come through the door, you want to come in as a boss and say, hey, I can run this. Give me the business. I'll take care of you. And that's what I did. I also sent emails and text messages to the people who were providing me jobs and say, hey, if there is more you have, could I have more? And hey, congratulations, I heard a big contract came through, even though I didn't get it. Congratulations on filling it. Like, you have to do something different than what everybody else is doing. Other people just sitting back waiting on contracts. You have to create your own opportunity. Now, I'm almost at 10 minutes. I'm probably gonna be like another minute or 30, so I'm not gonna split this up. Now the question with the $5,000, how much business I can expect, that's gonna be the same thing. If you come through the door with $5,000, they're not gonna turn around and give you a $5,000 contract. Now, what some Jam Pro businesses have, their business practice is, the more money you pay in, they'll guarantee a higher level of business. Like if somebody paid $5,000, they may say, okay, we'll give you $25,000 worth of business within this year if you can handle the contract. And the more money you pay, the tier system, the more business that you can potentially get, but it's not a guarantee because you have to prove you're in. So that was a question I had to answer. There is no guarantee, but your potential can be a lot higher. And if you have other services like windows, like I did one when I was doing the building, and I made an additional for doing the windows. So there are ways that you can work yourself in the system and say, okay, I can do windows, I can do floors, I can do other things. Create opportunity once you get in the building, because if you see there's a need and you're already there going out there, you provide that need. You want to be solution oriented. The other question was, how much business does it take for me to get 3,000 versus 5,000? That can be 100 ways, because it more depends on the size of the building and how much time it's going to take you to clean that building. I've had buildings that was huge, that was $800 with a contract, and I had a business that was half the size and I made $600. So it all depends on how big the space is and what you can negotiate with, because some contracts come through and I said, well, no, I can't do it for that price. And they said, well, hey, let me get back with you. And they probably offer like another $50, $75 to $100 on top of that. So you don't have to just kind of take what they give you. You can also dictate, say, hey, kindly turn the offer down. But you don't want to turn down too many offers. You want to prove yourself. I'm getting out the car now. You want to prove yourself, so you don't want to turn down too many offers, but it has to make sense for you. So I hope I've answered people's questions about the Jam Pro. And again, I'm going to be sharing more content as the questions come through. And I'm going to also be talking about more real estate. Have a great day. Thank you for listening. Please share these videos, like these videos, because when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I can actually go live and we can actually interact with each other. So I'm trying to shoot for 1,000. So share, so I can get 1,000 subscriptions. That's my other dog. I can get 1,000 subscriptions so I can be able to go live. Thank you. Bye.